of a state. Those interviews start right now.
Okay.
Dr. Ben Carson, thank you so much for joining. Really appreciate you taking the time.
I'm delighted to be here, and I'm delighted that things are going so well.
Yeah, it's
Where's your website? How do you find more about you?
your speech at Charlie's funeral or Charlie's memorial service, I thought was one of the better ones. How did you kind of prepare for that? And what was it that you were trying to communicate to that large of an audience?
Yeah.
100,000 people there, millions watching online.
With only 5 minutes.
Really, and that's a challenge in and of itself.
Yeah. Well, I do what I always do. I ask the Lord to speak through me, and He always does. So, when I speak here today, I have a broad outline of what I want to say, but it frequently turns out to be something different.
Really? So you just kind of not wing it. You have an outline, but it flows.
The Lord strikes me in different ways, depending on the atmosphere, depending on the audience. But I wanted people to really think about what good could come out of what happened to Charlie.
Yeah.
And interestingly enough, there's a revival that's been going on for the last few years. But I think it really caught fire after what happened to Charlie.
LJ, did you give a test?
One of the, obviously, the things that everybody noticed is that church parking lots seemed full. People were going back to church. How do we keep that, in your opinion? Like, how does it, because, I'm not going to call it a fad because it's not a fad, but it's something that, crescendos and then inevitably it starts to fade unless we do something. What do you think that is that we can do to kind of maintain that momentum?
I think we have to do what Charlie was doing. Don't stand on the sideline. Get out in the middle of the stage and take the microphone and talk.
Yeah.
Because that's what happened, over the last few decades. The leftists, the Marxists, they are not shy. They will always grab the microphone and go to the middle of the stage and shout it from the mountaintops.
Yeah.
While we just sit around and kind of complain about that. We have to be as active as they are, because what they're trying to do is indoctrinate our people, particularly our young people. And, if you read the Marxist literature, they're not shy about what they're trying to do.
No, they say it explicitly.
Exactly.
We're trying to dissolve the nuclear family, and we want to seize the means of production.
Exactly.
And then we say, hey, they want to dissolve the nuclear family and seize the means of production. Well, everybody goes, nah.
It was interesting when Black Lives Matter first, became prominent. They had all of that on their website, and then people started seeing it, so they erased it all. But it's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And what Charlie did, which was so important, is he made people think. He would say, "Well, why do you believe that? And what is the basis of your belief system?" And people would find that they really couldn't answer that question.
Yeah.
And maybe begin to reassess the situation.
Yeah.
And our young people who've grown up in the midst of all this democratic socialism, quote, they're not seeing good things for their future.
No.
And a lot of them are starting to ask questions, are we really going in the right direction? And we see particularly a lot of the young men turning back to faith again. And I think the women will come along too. We have to recognize that they have a difficult situation, the women do, because now it's, family versus career, and which one do I choose and which one do I give primacy to. I think that will become less of a problem with virtual things happening. You'll be able to go to your virtual 10 o'clock meeting with all your colleagues and then turn around and change the baby's diaper.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to kind of tug on that thread, the trajectory of kind of the basis of women livelihood, like the Industrial Revolution kind of took the economic power out of the household, which it really was. Like, when the Bible says the women are the CEOs effectively of the household, there's a lot of actual work to be done. That was a full-time job.
Absolutely.
And it kind of seems like, obviously when things got more efficient to manufacture clothes, for example, manufacture food, some of that economic power got taken away. And so you kind of think like in a digital world, women can maybe reclaim some of that.
And they will be able to. Men have to be understanding. Most men who go out and work all day long and come back home, then if you take them and say, tell you what, you stay home and do that, they'll be back at work in no time.
That's all it takes.
It's good. It's good.
Dr. Carson, do you have something more?
No, I was just going to say, my wife, she has a degree from Yale. She has a degree from Johns Hopkins. She's very talented, very smart. But she felt it was much more important when the boys were growing up that she'd be there for them. And then after they were all grown and gone, she's had plenty of time to do other stuff. And she did stuff before that. And even while they were growing up, while they would be at school, she was putting together programs for our scholarships and all these things.
Yeah.
So there's plenty to do.
There's plenty to do all the time. Yeah. My wife is similar. She's a therapist by trade, but is at home raising our kids, and that's what I want. That's great, because you can replace a therapist. You can't replace their mom. The way that she sees it.
Nothing is like the mom and the family. And our families are not developing like they used to.
Yeah.
People are not getting married, or they're getting married very late, which has some consequences too.
Yeah.
Because children who are born to older parents tend to have more physical problems.
Yeah.
And there's been some recent studies that show particularly older men who father children see a larger incidence of their children of mental type issues.
Now, I guess from a medical standpoint, but also from like energy standpoint, Charlie always just say, have kids sooner than you think you should, have more than you can afford.
Absolutely.
So that's that's also probably seems like a pretty tangible, reason why you should do that.
They feed you headlines, cut the frame, say it loud enough, call it fact. Change the words, dodge the blame, sell the lie, then double back.
From Real America's Music, the label that brought you Anthem of the Free, The Boss, and Somali Waltz, comes a brand new anthem built for a distrustful age. Truth Bomb by the Truth Bombers.
Truth bomb, tick, truth.
Talks about distrust of institutions, media manipulation, shifting government narratives, big tech censorship, cancel culture, and ideological silencing. The culture needs a truth bomb, and this track delivers. Download it now. Scan the QR code or search Truth Bomb by the Truth Bombers on iTunes. We've broken records before. Let's do it again together.
Now is the moment to put your brand in front of an engaged, loyal audience through Real America's Voice. When you advertise on Real America's Voice, you're not just running an ad, you're partnering with trusted voices like Steve Bannon, Charlie Kirk, and other influential hosts. Backed by millions of monthly listeners.
What's happening? Because of a real voice, man. I watch it all the time.
Real America's Voice rocks.
Real America's Voice gives sponsors the chance to put their product front and center, displayed on screen and highlighted by our anchors during exclusive segments and live events.
Head to freetrumpknife.com.
This means your brand becomes part of the conversation as it happens.
Secure your spot before it's too late.
Join us today and make your brand part of the news conversation that America's viewers trust. Real America's Voice, where your message is seen, heard, and remembered.
Hi, I'm Bridgie, and why do I love rap? Well, even out here in the cornfields of Iowa, I still need news I can depend on. That is Real America's Voice.
Flashosaurus in the chat.
I love Real America's Voice because I can watch news being delivered to me live while I chat with the family I love.
Hey guys, my name is Jeff. I'm from Massachusetts. I love RAV because of the free speech and the political wranglings that go on in the chat every day.
Speaking of sitting on a porch, and I mean this as a complimentary way, why are you doing this? You could be on a beach somewhere, kicking up your feet, but you've decided to take your time to come here, do this. You've got a great organization teaching kids about freedom and civics and all that sort of stuff. Why?
Because we're in a battle, a cultural war. And if we don't win, we all lose. So the way I kind of look at it, against the backdrop of eternity, which is very important to me, the amount of time that we spend here is a flash in the pan. And we should be looking at what is God's will. And why has he given us certain talents, and why has he put us in certain positions? And we got the rest of eternity to relax and enjoy life. We got things to do.
You got things to do. Now, does everybody in your life agree with that? Is that, or are there some people, saying, "Hey, you got to slow down"?
Well, I always hear people saying that. That's a constant thing. But as long as the Lord gives me the ability to get out there and do things, it's important to do.
Yeah.
I feel so fortunate to have been born in this country and to have had the opportunities that I had. To be able to see the country from the viewpoint of someone who's growing up in dire poverty to the viewpoint of someone who is very well off and can do what they want to do. And there aren't a lot of places in the world like that.
Yeah. With the modern political culture, we see a bunch of people in the media saying, well, Republicans control the House and the Senate. They can just do anything they want. I mean, really what that is a diagnosis of, okay, you don't understand civics. We don't have a supermajority in either house, or,
exactly right.
I mean, the Senate specifically. So we need, Democrat buy-in. How is that sort of thing kind of guided your pathway in terms of being able to educate kids on fundamentally how civics works and like how the government works and how you actually get things done? So, when those arguments are made, it doesn't land at all because they're like, well, no, you need 60 votes in the Senate and we don't have that, so you can't blame one side or the other, even if it's the other side. It's an understanding of how it works.
When most people come to Washington or to their state capital as representatives or their staff, they don't know anything. And it's like trying to drink from a fire hydrant. And it takes them a solid year to really get to understand how things work. In the cases of Congress, that's half your term right there. Just learning what's going on. So that's why we have the Executive Branch for America program with American Cornerstone. And it tells you how the government works. And it has courses. And you can pass those courses and you can actually be certified. And it's free of charge, by the way. And we want people to go there and be ready to go on day one. You probably noticed with the second Trump administration how fast they took off. That was because during that 4 years off,
figuring out how things work.
And they were ready to go, guns blazing. And it makes a difference to prepare people for what they're going to be dealing with. And with Executive Branch for America, we have many luminaries, government luminaries, who tell you from their point of view what's going on and how you can be helpful.
That's awesome. This is kind of not related to any of this, but I'm actually curious about this. This is a discussion I've been having with a bunch of people. Do you think Jesus had a sense of humor?
I know Jesus had a sense of humor. There's no question. I mean, all I have to do is look at my own life. I mean, here I was, this angry teenager trying to stab people with knives. And he said, okay, Benjamin, you like knives? I'm going to take that knife and I'm going to replace it with a scalpel and you can save lives. And then, you know, after I almost killed somebody with a knife.
I would love to hear that story.
Yeah, I just had such a temper that I didn't think about what I was doing. Somebody made me angry.
You had a temper?
I was.
You were the most.
I was pathological.
No. Really?
It shows you the look on your face. That's incredible. I see that all the time. Because when Jesus changes you, he doesn't do a paint job. He changes you from the inside. And so I had tried to stab someone. And I locked myself in the bathroom. I started contemplating because I had changed from a horrible student to a straight A student by that time. I said, but you'll never realize your dream of becoming a doctor with a temper like that. Your choices will be jail, reform school, or the grave. And I didn't like any of those choices. So there was a Bible, and I picked it up and opened it to the book of Proverbs, which was written by Solomon, the wisest man who ever lived. And there were all these verses about anger and fools, and they all seemed like they were written about me. And I just poured my heart out to the Lord. And I said, you know, I'll never make it unless you change me. And it was during that time that I came to recognize the reason that I was so angry is because I was selfish. It was always about me, my, and I. Somebody did this to me. Somebody took my thing. I want this.
Yeah.
And I said, if you learn to step outside the center of the circle, not let it be about you, let it be about somebody else, it'll take care of the problem. And it did. That was the last day I had an angry outburst.
That's
completely
incredible.
Changed my life. But here's what's interesting about that, and why I say God has a sense of humor. I read the book of Proverbs, from the book of Proverbs every day. I start every day.
Every day.
Since that time.
Wow.
Written by Solomon. My middle name is Solomon. So
wow.
He knew I was going to have that affinity. And when Solomon became the king, what was the first thing that he did that brought him great acclaim? 2 women claimed to be the mother of the same baby. And what did he say? Divide
Split it in half.
Well, when did I become very famous? When I divided babies. He's got a sense of humor.
I can't. You're one of the most calm, collected individuals, I think, in this media space, and I think you're famous for that. Like when some personalities in this realm, and I'm familiar with them too, are kind of up and out there. You're the calm, reasoned voice of reason in that, and I cannot picture you with a temper. Did that ever translate to your kids? Did you ever have a temper when you were raising your kids?
No.
Never.
It's very difficult to make me angry. There's probably only one person who can make me angry. That's my wife.
The person you love the most
exactly
can maybe make you a little bit angry.
Maybe, but not even she would have a tough time.
That is an I feel like that is a testament to just the power of change that Christ can have in your life.
That's what he can do.
Wow.
He can do that for anybody, regardless of what their problem is.
Yeah.
And that's something we need to talk about more. And I'm glad Charlie talked about it.
Yeah.
And I'd like to see more of us be bold about our faith.
Yeah.
Because we didn't rise from a ragtag bunch of militiamen to the pinnacle of the world by accident.
By chance. Yeah.
It was because of what we believed.
Dr. Ben Carson, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Looking forward to your speech today.
Wonderful being with you.
Thanks for taking the time.
Okay.
Thank you.
They feed you headlines, cut the frame. Say it loud enough, call it fact. Change the words, dodge the blame. Sell the lie, then double back.
From Real America's Music, the label that brought you Anthem of the Free, The Boss, and Somali Waltz, comes a brand new anthem built for a distrustful age. Truth Bomb by the Truth Bombers. Talks about distrust of institutions, media manipulation, shifting government narratives, big tech censorship, cancel culture, and ideological silencing. The culture needs a truth bomb, and this track delivers. Download it now. Scan the QR code or search Truth Bomb by the Truth Bombers on iTunes. We've broken records before. Let's do it again together.
Now is the moment to put your brand in front of an engaged, loyal audience through Real America's Voice. When you advertise on Real America's Voice, you're not just running an ad, you're partnering with trusted voices like Steve Bannon, Charlie Kirk, and other influential hosts. Backed by millions of monthly listeners.
What's happening? Because of a real voice, man. I watch it all the time.
Real America's Voice rocks.
Real America's Voice gives sponsors the chance to put their product front and center, displayed on screen and highlighted by our anchors during exclusive segments and live events.
Head to freetrumpknife.com.
This means your brand becomes part of the conversation as it happens.
Secure your spot before it's too late.
Join us today and make your brand part of the news conversation that America's viewers trust. Real America's Voice, where your message is seen, heard, and remembered.
Hi, I'm Bridgie. And why do I love Rob? Well, even out here in the cornfields of Iowa, I still need news I can depend on. That is Real America's Voice.
Flashosaurus in the chat. I love Real America's Voice because I can watch news being delivered to me live while I chat with the family I love.
Assemblyman? Now, okay, so what other things can I put on your title? Assemblyman, caucus, minority leader? No, not yet? Okay, all right.
No, I wish, but no.
David Tungihipa, Assemblyman in California, in the godforsaken hellhole that is California. But it's actually not, because I live in California, as you do you. It's not really that bad in terms of, like, the geography, the weather, all this sort of stuff. It's just the damn politics in California. What the hell is going on?
It's the greatest place in the world.
It is.
It is the greatest place in the world.
It is.
If anybody's been to Newport, Corona, Del Mar, they would never want to leave. You know, and the fact that we have a government right now that is driving so many people out of this state that, I mean, we have the highest mountains, we've got the lowest valleys, we've got all of the beaches, we grow all the food, we have all of the natural resources here.
All of the illegals.
And it's, all the illegals. And it's too hard to live in the 5th largest economy in the world, and that's because of the people who lead this state right now, which is what gives me hope, though, because that's a people and a policy issue, which means both can be solved fairly quickly. Just the people of California need to wake up and actually realize it's not Donald Trump, it's Gavin Newsom that's actually destroying our lives.
I feel like in order to, like, you should lower the microphone a little bit. It's going to be in your face, and if you ever want to clip that, got it. There you go. It looks better. Okay. Play with me here. You know, I recognize this is an improbable scenario. Mm-hmm. However, there's a poll that came out yesterday with Sheriff Bianco, Steve Hilton, and then all of the other Debs at the top. And now California, if people don't know, is a top 2 system. It didn't used to be. It used to be, you know, Republican and Democrat, whoever wins from their party goes on, you know, through the primary. But at the top 2, do you think there is a chance that some of your lower level libs don't bow out? And 1, we get a Republican in there, but 2, it could possibly be 2 of them?
So we've ran scenarios, and right now, 7 out of 10 times a Dem makes it through. that means
that's a 30% chance.
There's a 30% chance that 2 Republicans can, and we're hearing some rumblings right now that Rob Bonta is also going to jump in. So if we have really prominent Democrats and then all those lower Dems, I guess, and we get somebody who's like a far left socialist that kind of pulls some of that socialist vote as well away from the moderate-ish. None of them are moderate-ish Democrats. You know, you get Eric Swalwell, you get Fang. You get Katie Porter, you get Rob Bonta, Xavier Becerra, Anthony Villanueva, and then we need, in my opinion, I think we should have 2 Republicans really pull out that are kind of going to pull about 2 to 3%, 4% away, and then just leave Chad and Steve. Chad and Steve right now are the clear front runners. They're both polling above 10%. If it's me, by about the time we get to the first week of March, if those other Republicans aren't polling above 5%, they really need to pull out, because then we can actually have that scenario.
What kind of power does the state party have to do that, leverage-wise? Obviously, you can ask nicely, but is there any funding mechanism that can allow that to happen? And I realize I might be putting you in a tough spot answering that question, but yeah, other than asking nicely, is there any sort of can we convince that this is the better way forward?
You know, people like to operate with a carrot more than a stick, and so if there's a better plan that we put in front of them where it's like, hey, we're seeing you at 5%. We have an open position at the lieutenant governorship. Can you run for that? Hey, we see you at 4%. You also fit the bill for, I don't know, auditor controller. You know, these are really important positions as well that we can get other people. But in my opinion, I think some of those 5%, 4%, 6% polling Republicans, they may make great candidates to join me in the assembly. They may make great candidates to be a senator. And most people don't know the difference between a federal senator and a state senator. So you get the title anyway. So great. You can take it and you'll be fine.
That was a theme on The Office. What's her name's husband? Angela's husband was a senator. Like, he's a state senator. Calm down. This is not that cool. Have you ever met Gavin?
I have met Gavin.
What do you think of him personally?
Well, I'll tell you this. I crashed his party, and it's a little bit. It's hard for me to be inconspicuous.
Because you're 9 feet tall.
I'm a little wide and a little big, so I walk in, and it was one of the greatest moments in what I believe happened in Sacramento, because I have a new record in Sacramento. I'm the fastest legislator to be kicked off of committees. And so I walk into this party, and it's like I'm looking at all of my colleagues, and it's like the record scratch.
Oh,
and like that bar scene when you walk through the saloon doors.
He's here.
They walk through the...
Okay, wait. Set the scene. Is this like a Christmas party? What kind of party is this?
It's like
his birthday party?
No, it's like a legislator get-together soiree that the governor puts on.
So you could have been there.
No. You're supposed to be invited to that. You're supposed to...
Hold on. The governor has a soiree that he doesn't, and it's supposed to be a coming together of unity, and he doesn't invite everybody?
Well, the governor doesn't invite people. It's his staff, and if you've heard about his staff are some of the most vitriolic people out there.
And corrupt as hell, Dana Williamson.
And she's the one who set that standard.
Interesting.
Most people don't even know how it operates. If certain people were hired to represent other organizations with lobbyists and all of that, and Dana did not like them, Dana would tell them, you're not getting anything through until you fire that person. And then she'd specifically find somebody that was within their apparatus and then get them appointed to that lobbying position to have direct contact. And that's actually how they control a lot of the apparatus. Is she used to run the place like like a Gestapo. She was the mob boss. That was, you either do what I say or you get nothing. And not only do you get nothing, if you start participating or helping the other side, we're going to run legislation that actually hurts your business.
Wow.
That is exactly how it works.
Well, and we can get really into the weeds of like the trash contracts in Oakland and all that sort of stuff. That's actually fascinating. Yeah. But I am curious to go, you crashed Gavin's party.
I did.
That you weren't invited to for some reason.
Was it
racism?
No. Because I'm the first Polynesian?
Yeah, maybe.
Wait, but you do know I'm not allowed in the AAPI caucus?
Okay, explain.
Because they told me I'm not the right kind of Polynesian. I'm the first ever Polynesian ever elected to the state legislature, but it's because I'm a Republican Polynesian, and I am not allowed. Just like our Latino members are not allowed in the Latino caucus.
That's wild.
Oh, yeah.
That's
you want to talk about racism? When they said that to me, I was like, imagine if I said you're not the right kind of black.
Yeah.
If you're not the right kind of Asian. You're not the right kind of all of this. So,
should we start doing that? Just to prove a point? I'm just kidding. I'm going to get you in trouble. Okay. You crashed Gavin's
they already
party.
kicked me off the committees. It doesn't matter.
There's no committee assignments. Are you on any committees now?
They reassigned. So
okay.
I'll share that. So I crashed his party, but I will say this is what makes Governor Newsom so talented is, he comes up and he talks to me and he goes, cordial. Man, you've been a pain in my side the whole time. And I tell him, I'm like, Senator Grove is like my mama. Mm-hmm. So, and she's a force. She's somebody that we're going to be losing this next year, and she's amazing. If anybody has ever met Senator Shannon Grove, she's the entire reason why child sex trafficking is a felony in California, and we barely did that in 2023 after the Democrats killed it.
Yeah.
And I worked with her on the public pressure campaign, and she forced it through. But it's what makes Governor Newsom so, I don't know, intoxicated. It's like American Psycho. He is Christian Bale in American Psycho. He can fool a lot of people. He says the right things. He looks the right part. But then he signs the craziest stuff out there that you could possibly imagine. But this is what he comes up to me and introduces himself. He gives me his number. And we have
his number.
He gives me his number.
And you texted him.
I have texted him. And, there was a fire in my district. I needed help. And he helped. There's a hospital that's shutting down in my district. I reached out to him. I set up a lot of organizations that could help us out. Reached out to him and his team, and they got back to me. And so it's where I can say, you don't get to the governor of the largest state, of the richest state, in the richest nation in the world, and you don't have talent.
At Real America's Voice, we know that you want to be a part of something bigger. That's why we've teamed up with AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens, to build a real community of folks who care about faith and our country's future.
There is no force on earth that can stop us from saving our country.
Want to be a part of this movement? It's easy. Just scan the QR code on your screen right now. That's right. Grab your phone and scan the QR code to join the AMAC and Real America's Voice family today. By scanning the QR code, you'll unlock exclusive content, connect with like-minded Americans, and be first in line for events that celebrate our shared values. So don't wait. Scan the QR code. Join us today and become part of a community that stands for faith, family, and freedom.
Real rights, they come from God.
With AMAC and Real America's Voice. Go ahead. Scan the QR code now. Real America's Voice is growing, and now it's all in one place. Introducing the new and improved RAV app, built for access, community, and choice, not paywalls. Here's the key. RAV is still free to watch. No sign-in, no membership required. Your favorite live streams, breaking coverage, and video on demand are all right there. Free, just like always.
For the War Room Posse, we have to be a force multiplier on this. We have to stick the landing.
In the White House, in the Oval Office,
That's what's concerning. I mean, I've had a couple run-ins with him, but like more specifically, I was at a Starbucks in Chino, California. The guy that I was running for governor against Gavin, this is before he was elected, we'd done a town hall or something the night before, and we were dumping footage to our video editor, and outside I looked, there's Gavin Newsom outside this Starbucks. He walks in, I say hello, I say, hey, I'm running a guy named Travis's campaign, and he goes, oh, good, tell him I said hi. And I was like, you're going to think this is funny. We're actually cutting a hit piece against you right now. And he says, cool, good luck with that. Gets in line, orders his coffee. And I was like, I wish I hated you more, dude. On a personal level, obviously the policy goes without notwithstanding, like nuts. But that's what makes him scary, is he's kind of a nice guy.
Well, what I think makes him the scariest is he's a conservative face, business owner with a far left agenda.
Yeah.
And
why? How does that happen?
Oh, I don't think he actually believes in it at all. I think he understands where he can concentrate power.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it like this. His family, his entire political career, all of it, is all built off the back of oil.
No. He was growing up on Wonder Bread in the ghetto. That's what I heard.
Yeah, I know. I remember when I grew up in Section 8 housing, I ended up in this magazine called, Children of the Rich. Yeah. With my Tongan mom and my brothers, waiting in the food lines, it was just such a struggle living in the richest neighborhood for Governor Newsom.
Yeah, it's just tough. Did you know there's no, or at least I haven't found, there's no actual evidence that he ever played college baseball?
No, really?
No. Oh, yeah, dude.
Because I was going to say, when he came up to me, he knew I played football, and he goes, I played baseball at, this D3. Like
Santa Clara. He went to University of Santa Clara. There's no record that he ever played varsity baseball. Now, there is record that he went to the school to either try out for the team or something. But I'm kind of wondering, is this like one of those varsity blues scandals where like, hey, we'll get your kid in because he plays baseball? And because he's bragged about his crappy GPA before and his low SAT score.
Yeah.
So I'm like, how did you get into that school? Well, I was a baseball player, although no record of him actually playing varsity baseball.
But you do know the story of like his family, and they stole the Getty Family Trust after Pat Brown.
Wait a minute, I don't know this. They stole the Getty Family Trust?
Yes.
What do you mean stole? So I know, just to set it up for listeners here, Gavin's dad was an attorney for the Getty Family Trust.
Was the executor.
Was the executor of the trust.
Trust.
What do you mean they stole it?
So, and Cal Matters did a story on this.
Okay.
And somehow it got buried. But Gavin Newsom is related to the Pelosi family.
Yeah.
Obviously the Newsom tree. He has connections into the Feinstein family, the Brown family, which is Pat Brown and Jerry Brown, the governors, and the Getty family. So J.P. Getty, one of the largest oil moguls in the world, his entire wealth was they went and put a bunch of oil in Saudi Arabia. Most of the Saudi Arabian oil pieces are from the Getty family. We've heard of Getty Images too.
Yeah.
The Getty Museum, all the same family. And Pat Brown was a governor of California. William Newsom was a judge. Pat Brown changed executive law on how trusts are executed. J.P. Getty did not get along with his family, hated his kids. One of his grandkids was like held for ransom in Italy, and he wouldn't send them money until they sent him like an ear from his grandson, and he just thought his whole family was going to steal.
What?
Yes.
I don't want to get off on that tangent.
Well,
okay, yeah.
So they changed executive law. Pat Brown changes it. William Newsom then reassigns the trust to Billy Getty. Billy is Gavin Newsom's business partner. Then William Newsom leaves the judgeship and then becomes the executor of the trust.
That's how he got into the executorship?
Yes.
Oh, I thought they were like family friends and that's how it got appointed.
No. They took the trust away from the other person, reassigned it to a different trustee.
I don't want to so a trust is, this is where all of your assets
This
are
is
held.
a $1.6 billion family trust.
Account, effectively. I mean, obviously, there's obviously assets in that, but that's just in case people...
Yeah, it's a $1 billion account, and he changes who becomes the executor. Then that executor assigns William Newsom as the trustee, or as the attorney for that, to delegate all of it. Billy Getty is Gavin Newsom's business partner in all of the Plump Jack. So all of the funding that started the Plump Jack initiatives, the winery.
Plump Jack is Gavin Newsom's
wine estates
holdings company.
Exactly. All of it is backfilled from the Getty Family Trust and all built on big oil. After Pat Brown and William Newsom stole the trust away from the Getty family.
Wow.
It's all in Cal Matters.
I didn't know that's how that happened.
Yeah.
I just kind of assumed, okay, so he's a family attorney, and therefore he's the guy we trust with
There's an article, it's specifically called Keeping It All in the Family by Cal Matters. If anybody looks it up, it gives you a family tree.
Wow.
And in the family tree it says, like, artificially adopted by the Gettys is Governor Newsom.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's fascinating.
Oh, it's insane.
I had no idea.
It is the mob.
Okay, so then you got the question of, the obvious kind of trope against anybody running for higher political office is, well, it's just to enrich themselves, right? Trump's been accused of that a lot, and that's, it's just what happens.
The only president that has lost net worth.
Right? Not Joe Biden, though. He was doing it for the right reasons, and his son happened to end up on all these boards. Anyways, what then is Gavin's motivation? Because he's got all the money in the world. What is it? Just a power narcissist ego thing? Is that what it is?
Well, again, I think he just comes from that type of family tree. I mean, Nancy Pelosi's family, they've been in politics the whole time.
Yeah.
The Brown family, that is, I mean, it's kind of how the mob is operated.
Yeah.
And he's the prodigal son.
Yeah.
He is the prodigal son of none of them. I mean, Nancy made it all the way to Speaker of the House.
Oh, yeah.
She couldn't make it to president.
Well, and also too, I think Nancy's smart. Like, I wish conservatives had a Nancy Pelosi in order to, whip her party into shape. Like, she got people behind a bill that nobody read and ruined everybody's lives with the Affordable Care Act. We got to pass it so we can find out what's in it, right? We don't have that. Conservatives, well, up until this point, right now, it's Trump, but he's the president. He's not in Congress, and so it's difficult to kind of do that sort of stuff. But, I think people... Nancy Pelosi's evil. Yeah, okay, cool. I agree with that, but she's not dumb.
No.
Do you think Gavin's dumb?
Absolutely not. No, I think actually within that apparatus, they're extremely intelligent. But it's fundamentally different between our ideologies as well.
Yeah.
And this is why I don't think Gavin's a real liberal. I don't think he's a Democrat. I think he's a power-hungry individual who understands how to move the vessel to be in charge.
Yeah.
Well, think about it. Why would you want to be on the party side, conservatives and Republicans, that our individual foundations are built on individualism and independence? That is extremely hard to get everybody on the same page if we're all a band of individuals. That's why Ronald Reagan is so amazing, because he can get a bunch of individuals to work together for an end goal. The opposite side of the aisle, liberals, they work in collectivism. They believe in collectivism. So all of their ideology is marching together. And if individuals and Republicans see government as a problem, we don't want to participate. We hate it from the outside. Yeah. And if on the opposite end, liberals look at government as the solution, then they all want to participate and then build that. So it's very easy to get a bunch of lemmings to jump off the cliff. It is very hard to be a shepherd of a bunch of birds that are all flying in different directions. And we've got
that analogy.
And
Did you come up with that? Is that a David original?
I do talk about that, yes.
Okay, so sorry, I don't want to cut you off.
Yeah, no, but that's just the way that we operate. So it's within our individual foundations, and it's why I believe Governor Newsom, Nancy Pelosi, and a lot of these groups operate on that side of the aisle, because it's a lot easier to control, to say, it's so much easier, which is unfortunate.
Well, it's amazing conservatives win anything, honestly. Given the odds that are stacked against us with the university systems, the media, the entertainment industry, everything, and yet somehow we still win. Somehow. And I'm curious if you think we're at kind of a tipping point in California where it's all right, this has gone too far, too much. Maybe it expresses itself in the governor's race. Maybe it's more local Senate Assembly races. Where do you think we're going? Obviously, I know you're going to be optimistic. We're going to win everything. All right.
No, I'm not going to be optimistic.
Okay.
Not at all.
Okay.
No. I just saw a PPIC poll that showed that the governor was polling above 50% for the first time in forever, and the legislature was polling above 50. It was like 53%.
Yeah.
How?
At Real America's Voice, we know that you want to be a part of something bigger. That's why we've teamed up with AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens, to build a real community of folks who care about faith and our country's future.
There is no force on earth that can stop us from saving our country.
Want to be a part of this movement? It's easy. Just scan the QR code on your screen right now. That's right. Grab your phone and scan the QR code to join the AMAC and Real America's Voice family today. By scanning the QR code, you'll unlock exclusive content, connect with like-minded Americans, and be first in line for events that celebrate our shared values. So don't wait. Scan the QR code. Join us today and become part of a community that stands for faith, family, and freedom.
Real rights, they come from God.
With AMAC and Real America's Voice. Go ahead, scan the QR code now. Real America's Voice is growing, and now it's all in one place. Introducing the new and improved RAV app, built for access, community, and choice, not paywalls. Here's the key. RAV is still free to watch. No sign-in, no membership required. Your favorite live streams, breaking coverage, and video on demand are all right there. Free, just like always.
For the War Room Posse, we have to be a force multiplier on this. We have to stick the landing.
In the White House, in the Oval Office, you're crushing it, my friend.
And if you want more, the members section is your backstage pass. Get exclusive behind-the-scenes photos and videos, insider moments from the studio and the field, and early access to new content before it goes public. Members can also unlock special experiences like virtual meet and greets, member-only auctions, and select event access. Plus, commercial-free viewing of certain shows inside the app. It's not just an app, it's a community. Download the RAV app today. Find it in the App Store and Google Play.
Florida Sun Goddess here. Let me tell you why I love RAV. They let my voice be heard. They give me a platform for community so I don't feel alone. Thanks so much. God bless. Florida Sun Goddess here. Let me tell you why I love RAV. They let my voice be heard. They give me a platform for community so I don't feel alone. Thanks so much. God bless.
This is the part where, again, I never look at the Democrats or the liberals or those in charge, and I don't blame them for winning and doing everything they said they would do. I blame Republicans and conservatives and those that are the electeds not being able to deliver a message that's actually digestible, that can get people motivated to be a part of our side. For a long time, the Republican Party has been the party against. I'm against this. I'm against that. I'm against this. And nobody wants to be on the side that's the grumpy old person who hates everything.
But it's kind of inherent in conservatism, right? Like, if you're going to be a progressive, you want things to, they say progress, I say just change. And if you're trying to conserve something, you don't want the status quo to change because things are pretty good and you don't want it to get worse. And so inherently, you always have to be on defense just from like an ideological pragmatist standpoint.
Yes, but we can't use that to prevent modernization and prevention.
You're right.
And even within conservatism, we were the home builders. We were the ones who founded cities. We did it the right way. So, then we went from that to do nothing.
Yeah.
But when population growth happens, when innovation happens, and you're just saying like, no, we can't do that. And it's like, okay, well, now we have sewer systems from the 1940s. We have a water system right now that was built in 1922 under the State Water Project and then the Central Valley Water Project that was supposed to. It was a bunch of conservatives in the early 1920s and 1940s that said, we need to build a water system that can sustain 40 million people with only 6 million people in this state, and they did it. And now we're at 40 million people, and we have liberals in this state trying to tear down a bunch of dams to restore the rivers and everything else when we don't have enough.
So, okay, Dad, there's so many different tangents we can go on.
Yeah.
Are you going anywhere? You got time?
No. Yeah,
so, okay. California hasn't built water storage in 50 years. What the hell? Okay, so from your insight into why that is it more of like the environmental people trying to like stop all of that sort of stuff? So if people aren't familiar, California constantly is talking about, we're in a drought, we need to save water. It's been like that my entire life. I've never not been in a drought. But also, policy-wise, we haven't made any new water storage literally in 40 or 50 years. Mm-hmm. So how do you square those two ideas? And also, what is going on there? Is it environmentalists? Is it money? What's happening?
So have you watched like the Marvel movies?
Not kind of. One.
So do you know who Thanos is?
I'm aware of Thanos, and I'm aware of his whole thing.
So I don't refer to environmentalists as environmentalists anymore. They're anti-human activists. They believe in the earth is the priority. Earth is all else be damned. If people die and we lose half the population, it actually would be a good thing because then we'd have abundance through human scarcity. That is Thanos' evil ideology when he would snap his fingers and eliminate half of the universe's population because overpopulation was the issue. So the actual entire premise of all of the Marvel movies under Thanos being the villain
is California Democrats.
Is California environmentalists. They have a Thanos ideology.
So with that in mind, I mean, there's the water storage. There's also, I don't know why. I do know why I've been going down this rabbit hole, because my wife and I are fortunate. We own our home, and it's great. A lot of our friends don't, and a lot of our friends are conservatives, and they are, church-going Christian. They live their life in a correct way. They save money. They do all the things that you're supposed to do, and they still can't afford a home.
Oh yeah,
that concerns me, and it's. I often have you just got to
the average home price in your area is like $1 million.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah, and the average for like a 1,400 square foot home in your area is about $1.1 to $1.4 million.
It's absurd. I'm trying to figure out why. How did that happen? In like the 70s, 80s, even early 90s. Obviously, there's a population boom in California because California is awesome, geographically speaking. You either have two directions to build. You either go up or out.
Yep.
Those are the only two things. In the cities, nobody wanted to go up because, NIMBYs. Which I'm a NIMBY in terms of building more things around my area. I totally understand that. At the same time, you had the environmentalists saying you can't go out either. So, until the mid-90s or something like that, all of the Inland Empire in Southern California was like, no, this is protected marshland or whatever it is. And so what it feels like, maybe like 80s, I don't know about 90s, what it feels like is that we are 2 to 3 generations behind sprawl in California, which obviously restricts supply, which means demand goes up, which price goes up. Is there any fixing that? Or what can be done from a governmental policy level to try and play catch up to this 3 generations of we're behind because we just didn't do any of the stuff that we should have done in the time that we were doing it?
Well, one of my biggest things is that we have to self-reflect and see that Republicans actually caused a lot of these issues. Reagan created CEQA.
But kind of.
Remember, Reagan created CEQA.
He did, but 2 years after, he was like, hey, this is getting abused. This is not how we intended it.
And did nothing to fix it.
All right.
And not only that, the same thing is Richard Nixon.
Sorry, explain CEQA really quick.
CEQA is the California Environmental Quality Act.
Yeah.
We have to do all of these studies to figure out if fish exist. I don't know.
Well, and also,
if there's fossils.
In the 70s, the smog or pollution in Los Angeles was unbearable.
Oh, yeah.
And so it was kind of necessary.
Yes.
And that's why Reagan was like, hey, as a conservative, I want to conserve quality of life for people here. We need to put this into place. And then,
this one was more for extinct animals than that. And then they created the air board for a lot of the air policies, which they've done a great job at it.
Yeah.
And yes, there were problems, but when it came to CEQA, when they were looking at that outward sprawl, there were endangered species and there were things. Then what I would say, conservatives kind of create these governmental policy to fix a problem, and they do a good job at it, and then the opposite side gets in control, and they look at that government on how to weaponize it.
Yeah.
And then backfill, just like what you talked about when it comes to the unions. They give to these unions, so these unions actually become a campaign apparatus for them that send all of their trainings and everything else to do campaign work.
Yeah.
So when we're paying for a walk program, the teachers union is walking for them for free.
Yeah.
We're spending $3 a door. They're not spending anything, and they're getting 500 volunteers because they're telling all their teachers to show up.
So just for people, when you're doing a walk campaign, you're trying to get people elected into the state legislature.
Exactly.
That's what. But
it's the weaponization on that side where they'll take CEQA and then they'll say, okay, you have to work with this consultant to do your environmental review, and then that attorney and the engineer,
and all of a sudden
then backfill,
you've got everybody in your pocket.
Exactly. And then you're like, oh wait, I just got this attorney millions of dollars in CEQA contracts. This attorney better support my campaign.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to get this other one. And then they've used CEQA to move that port forward to now there's so many layers to just building housing, to getting through all of the regulations in California, because really what regulations, when government expands this big, it actually just becomes extortion.
Yeah.
It goes through, and I had a Republican donor of mine tell me, he goes, you want to know what's the biggest problem with the Republican Party? You guys have principles. I actually like working with the Democrats because I know if I show up to their event, I give them some money, I get my project done. And I go and I look at him and I say, you do understand that that is just extortion. You're paying your 10% protection fee, and you're just getting what you want. I tried to serve the people that I get to serve and operate within the law, and he goes, the law, you guys make it up. None of you know what the hell you're doing, so if I just give you money and you leave me alone, what's wrong with that?
Wow.
A massive donor, too. A billionaire.
Wow. That's unbelievable.
It's crazy.
I mean, it's not surprising,
it
but
breaks my heart.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a little bit still rose-colored glasses.
I was going to say,
we're all
you're
in
still
this to
brand new at all this stuff, and
I thought
not brand new, but like you're still wide-eyed trying to think everything can be fixed.
Yeah, I'm just looking at this, and I'm just, there's things that I've seen that I never thought I could imagine. You know, that the fact that we're arguing in California whether child sex trafficking should be a felony or not. I don't understand how we can fix red tape, regulations, CEQA. We could protect an owl that nobody knows if it's extinct or not, or if it has a spot on its back or not. But when we look at the kids of California, they don't care whether they could be trafficked on the street at 16 and 17 years old.
Yeah.
Like that's what we're dealing with. And I just feel like I'm in the Truman Show. And I'm like, am I normal?
How is all of this happening?
Like, how did we just get to this point? I would always say, like, the founding fathers they started the revolution on a 2% tax on an English breakfast drink.
Yeah.
And now if you live and you're a high income earner in California, you pay 50% in taxes. 6 months out of the year, you work for the government.
Yep.
For free.
Yep.
You paid to work for the government. That's
what happened. Yeah, that's a question that I think a lot of us are asking. Like, hey, we fought a war over 2%. What are we doing paying 50?
Yeah. We threw tea in a harbor. They stormed a ship, threw tea in a harbor for 2% and a stamp tax.
Yeah.
We're at a 50% income tax in California. And I don't know how people aren't angry.
Yeah.
I just don't get it. And I'm like, I'm asking for people to just show up and help me out. And sometimes, I mean, the way I describe it, it feels like playing football, but you're just running into everything head first.
Yeah.
And, this state is the most amazing place in the world and changed my life. I mean, a decade ago, I was homeless, sleeping on my teammate's couch, just trying to make it out and taking care of my family, taking care of my mom. And we grew up in low-income housing, and now I'm a business owner. I've made it to the state legislature. I'm the youngest elected in the state, and I want normal. I just want normal. And the place just feels so insane. I just don't get how more people aren't just angry. I know people are angry because that's how you get the elections of Mamdani and Trump. Yeah. That both sides, it didn't matter them being politically correct. It didn't matter any of that. What mattered was they were angry. They sounded like the general population. They may not agree with either of their ideas, but at least somebody's willing to break it. And I think that's what the people want, is break this damn machine that doesn't help any of us. Yeah. Because your friends who can't buy a home, doing all the right things, going to church like their parents did, getting a good job, getting married, having kids, with no chance at all to buy a home, to buy into the American dream, they should be pissed off. Yeah. They have to be angry. Yeah. It's the same thing for me and my brothers. Yeah. I do own my home. I bought my home, but I did that because I saw the writing on the wall and I told all my friends when I started my business, you will either buy now or you'll never be able to. Yeah. Because the people from LA that are moving up to the Central Valley and the Bay Area, moving into the Central Valley, these are the lowest home prices they've ever seen. Yeah. They may be the highest for us, but their average is in the millions. Yeah. We're at $300,000. Yeah. So do it now. We got to be pissed off. Yeah. And until the people of California realize who's really the cause, Governor Newsom, the state legislature, sitting on our hands, not willing to do the right things, to talk about the right things, and just blaming Donald Trump, the people need to wake up and actually be pissed off and angry. Totally. And hopefully we see that soon.
Awesome. David Tangiipa, Assemblyman, California. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Good to see you, man.
Dude, this is great.